TLC to go.
Welcome to today's deep dive. I want to speak directly to you right now. You are a member of the health sciences faculty, and, well, you know the reality of your daily schedule.
Yeah, it's a lot. You're constantly walking this really demanding tightrope.
Exactly. You're balancing your classroom teaching duties with incredibly heavy clinical loads. You've got rounding, charting, and just a mountain of professional and administrative responsibilities.
Right, and finding the mental bandwidth to design a new course or, even update an existing syllabus, it can feel like an impossible task when you are already stretched so thin.
The cognitive load is immense. I mean, you're expected to operate as an expert clinician, an active researcher, and a highly effective instructional designer, all at the exact same time.
And the reality is there simply aren't enough hours in the day to build complex, engaging learning materials from scratch, not while maintaining that clinical standard of excellence.
Which brings us to our mission for today's deep dive. We are exploring how you can use Generative Artificial Intelligence, or GenAI, as a really capable, time-saving design assistant for your course development.
But doing it without losing the essential human touch that actually makes you an effective educator.
Right. And we are drawing our framework today from a dedicated resource provided by the UTHSC Teaching and Learning Center. They serve as a vital hub for supporting educators, focusing on practical, innovative instructional strategies that actually fit into a busy clinician's life.
So we are going to break down how to practically integrate these tools into your workflow to basically reclaim your time.
But to do that effectively, we need to completely reframe how we view generative AI in an academic setting.
Yes. The goal here is not to outsource your teaching. The framework we are looking at positions AI strictly as a collaborative partner.
It's a utility.
Exactly. It's designed to generate initial drafts, help brainstorm instructional strategies, and really just streamline the administrative heavy lifting of course design. And there is a growing body of specific research validating this approach in health professions education.
Let's look at the evidence behind that, because it's fascinating. There's research published in 2023 by Gilson and colleagues in JMI, or medical education. They examined how large language models function within medical education, and the results are incredibly relevant for faculty.
They really are. They found that these tools can actually accurately answer medical licensing examination questions.
Which is wild on its own.
It is. But the critical takeaway for an educator isn't just that the AI passed the test, is that the AI can generate logical, structured justifications for its clinical selections.
And that capability fundamentally shifts how we can design learning environments.
Right. If an AI can map out logical clinical justifications, it can serve as an on-demand, interactive medical education aid.
So you can use it to build environments where students receive personalized conversational feedback. It helps them structure their clinical knowledge outside of your direct supervision.
It essentially functions as a virtual tutor that reinforces your primary instruction.
Building on that, the research points to massive shifts in instructional design itself. A 2025 study by Tan and Fisher in academic medicine explored how health professions educators are innovating their course materials through prompt engineering.
And we should clarify, prompt engineering isn't just typing a question into a search bar.
Right, it's much more structured than that.
It is the process of defining specific pedagogical parameters to basically program the AI to act as a specialized instructional designer.
And when educators master those parameters, the AI becomes this really powerful sounding board.
Exactly. You can feed it a drafted lesson plan, and it can help identify evidence-based instructional strategies that actually align with your specific learning objectives.
It supports reflective instructional design. It ensures that the activities you build are applying established teaching principles rather than just falling back on traditional lectures out of habit or, let's be honest, time constraints.
Which highlights a much broader professional shift we're seeing. A 2025 paper by Kamis and colleagues emphasizes that AI technologies are no longer just novelties.
No, they are deeply integrated into everyday healthcare and clinical practice.
Therefore, developing AI literacy is now a crucial competency for faculty.
It's not optional anymore.
Right. Building your own proficiency with these tools allows you to integrate them thoughtfully while maintaining rigorous professional standards in your curriculum design.
But knowing that AI is a permanent fixture in health sciences is one thing. Practically integrating it into, say, a Tuesday morning lecture plan is another.
Yeah, that requires a specific mindset shift. The most effective approach is to treat the AI as a design assistant, not a replacement for your clinical expertise.
Because your understanding of the nuances of patient care and your direct experience in the field remain the irreplaceable core of the course.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's walk through what that integration actually looks like in practice, starting with how to engineer a highly effective prompt.
This is where a lot of busy faculty hit a wall.
They do. They try a generic prompt, get a generic, unhelpful output, and then they just abandon the tool entirely.
To get usable, high-level results for health sciences education, you have to provide explicit pedagogical context.
Consider a scenario where you need a new clinical case study. If you just prompt the AI with something like, write a case study about heart failure.
You could get anything.
Exactly. You might get something suitable for a high school biology class, or you might get a highly complex cardiology fellowship scenario. The output is entirely unpredictable.
So instead, you need to establish the discipline, the course level, the expected competencies, and the learner level.
So a fully engineered prompt would look much more like this. You'd type, act as an expert instructional designer in nursing education. I am teaching first-year nursing students.
Setting the context right away.
Right. Then you say, the core competency we are assessing is identifying the early signs of right-sided heart failure. Generate a complex clinical case scenario involving a 65-year-old patient with multiple comorbidities. Include 3 discussion questions that require the students to prioritize nursing interventions.
That level of specificity is what transforms the AI from just a simple chatbot into a functional design assistant.
By setting those exact boundaries, you ensure the output is calibrated specifically to your learner's cognitive level.
And once you have that contextual formula down, you can use it to bypass the most frustrating part of course design.
Staring at a blank page.
The dreaded blank page syndrome. Think about the cognitive load of just starting a project. It is 10 o'clock at night, you've been on your feet for a 12-hour clinical shift, you've charted on 15 patients, and now you have to draft a comprehensive grading rubric for a massive final project.
Building a cohesive, multi-level grading rubric from scratch can take hours of tedious formatting and wordsmithing.
It's exhausting. But this is where these tools offer the highest immediate return on your time investment.
Because you aren't asking the AI to write the finalized perfect version. You are just asking it to build the scaffolding.
You can paste your project description and your core learning outcomes right into the tool, then prompt it to generate a standard 4-point grading rubric that evaluates clinical reasoning, communication, and technical accuracy.
And in about 10 seconds, you have a fully formatted grid.
Is it perfect? Probably not.
No, but now, instead of creating from scratch, you are simply editing. You can look at the proficient column and decide it needs a more specific clinical metric.
Or you can ask the AI to rewrite the exemplary column to make the distinction clearer for your students.
The hours of administrative heavy lifting are literally reduced to minutes of strategic refinement.
And that same scaffolding approach applies across the board. You can use it to draft initial course outlines, formulate measurable learning outcomes based on professional competencies, or even generate banks of practice quizzes.
But the utility extends far beyond just that first draft. The UTHSC Teaching and Learning Center framework really highlights how AI is exceptionally useful for iterative course design.
Right, because designing a health sciences course is a continuous process of refinement and alignment. Think of the AI as your tireless sous chef in the kitchen.
That's a great analogy.
You are the executive chef.
Yeah.
You are designing the menu and setting the flavor profile, but the AI is chopping the vegetables, preparing the base ingredients, and helping you adjust the seasoning.
And in the context of your syllabus, the AI can help you meticulously align your learning activities directly with your core outcomes.
Which is huge because alignment is frequently where course designs break down.
They really do. You might have this beautifully written learning outcome, but the assessment you're using doesn't actually measure that specific skill.
So you can feed your syllabus into the AI and ask it to run an alignment check.
Exactly. For instance, if your objective is demonstrate proper sterile technique, and your assessment is a multiple-choice quiz,
The AI will catch that.
it will flag that a written quiz cannot adequately assess a physical demonstration, and it will actually suggest alternative active learning teaching strategies instead.
Or consider the materials that consistently cause student confusion. Every educator has that one reading assignment or syllabus policy that results in a dozen clarifying emails every single semester.
Yes, the inbox flood.
You can drop that specific text into the AI and prompt it to rewrite the material for clarity, accessibility, and reading comprehension.
You can even have it generate 3 different analogies to explain a complex physiological process to students who are really struggling to grasp the core concept.
It just makes continuous semester over semester improvement highly manageable.
But as powerful as this iterative process is, we do have to establish the absolute non-negotiables when using these tools in a medical education context.
Yes, the guardrails.
Yeah. Because generative AI operates on probabilistic word prediction rather than an internal database of verified medical truth, there are severe limitations that you must actively manage.
The most critical guardrail being clinical accuracy.
Exactly. These models can and do hallucinate information.
And in a health sciences context, an AI hallucination isn't just a quirky formatting error.
No. The system might generate a patient case scenario where it confidently describes a highly plausible sounding yet completely fictitious contraindication between two real medications.
Or it might reference outdated clinical guidelines that have been superseded by brand new research.
Which means you cannot just generate a quiz, copy it, and deploy it to your students unchecked. Faculty oversight is absolutely mandatory.
You must systematically review, verify, and edit all AI-generated content before it ever reaches a learner.
Your clinical expertise is the ultimate filter to ensure that every scenario, every justification, and every data point meets the rigorous, evidence-based standards of health professions education.
The second guardrail is equally unyielding, and it concerns privacy and intellectual property.
The rule here is absolute. You must never enter sensitive student data into an AI tool.
Never upload proprietary institutional course materials.
And you must never, under any circumstances, enter protected clinical information or patient data.
Right. Once you input information into a public generative AI tool, you effectively lose control over where that data is stored, how it is processed, and how it might be used to train future iterations of the model.
You must always adhere strictly to your institution's data security policies. Protect your students, protect your patients, and protect the integrity of your clinical environment.
So if you understand those guardrails and you are looking to practically implement these tools, there is a wealth of specialized guidance available.
The UTHSC Teaching and Learning Center resource points to several phenomenal external hubs that are really leading the way in AI integration for higher education. And each offers a unique angle on the challenge.
For example, the MIT Teaching Plus Learning Lab has a specific, highly detailed guide on integrating generative AI into your course.
What makes their resource so valuable is that they provide a structural framework for how to explicitly state your AI policies within your syllabus.
They help you define exactly what constitutes acceptable use versus academic dishonesty for your specific assignments.
The document also references the Center for Teaching and Learning at the University of Texas at Austin. They provide excellent frameworks for rethinking assessment design in an AI-prevalent world.
And the University of Pittsburgh, which offers deep dives into how AI is reshaping specific academic disciplines.
It is incredibly useful to see how various top-tier institutions are solving the exact same instructional challenges that you are facing.
But you also have highly targeted, bite-sized resources available right from the UTHSC Teaching and Learning Center, specifically designed for a clinician's busy schedule.
Yes. They maintain a comprehensive hub for artificial intelligence resources that is constantly updated.
But what I find most practical are the specific publications they highlight from 2025.
They feature a piece from the 5-Minute University series by A. Kasari titled Using AI as a Teaching Assistant.
And the format is exactly what it sounds like. It is built for the faculty member who only has 5 minutes between rounds to absorb a new, highly actionable teaching strategy.
They also highlight a piece from the Teach Well, Learn Well series by Codwise and Wheeler titled Integrating AI into the Curriculum.
This resource takes a broader view. It offers structured guidance on how to weave AI literacy throughout an entire module or semester, rather than just using it for one-off tasks.
These aren't abstract theoretical papers. They are pragmatic manuals built for your specific reality.
So to synthesize the core functional takeaway here, generative AI is a highly capable design utility. It can help you brainstorm complex clinical scenarios, scaffold your rubrics, and continuously iterate your course materials to ensure alignment.
It can save you hours of administrative friction, but it requires your pedagogical direction to function and relies entirely on your clinical oversight to ensure accuracy.
You are the engine of the course. The AI is simply a tool to help you transmit your expertise more efficiently.
It really makes you wonder about the long-term trajectory of this profession, though. We discussed the research showing that large language models can accurately pass medical licensing exams and provide structured clinical justifications.
Right.
As these models become exponentially faster at ingesting and synthesizing new medical research, faster than any human clinician possibly could, does the fundamental role of the health sciences educator begin to shift.
That is a fascinating paradigm shift to consider. If the AI inherently holds all the up-to-date clinical facts on demand, perhaps the future of medical education moves away from primarily teaching students how to memorize and recall those facts.
It suggests a future where your primary role as an educator focuses almost entirely on teaching students how to critically interrogate, verify, and challenge the clinical logic of the AI itself.
You're no longer just training them to be providers of knowledge, you are training them to be expert auditors of artificial clinical reasoning.
Which completely redefines what it means to train the next generation of healthcare professionals.
And it is a profound thought to carry with you the next time you sit down to outline a new module. Well, that brings us to the end of today's deep dive. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your incredibly demanding schedule to join us.
We know how precious that time is.
We really do. We hope this provided you with some actionable strategies to reclaim your time and streamline your course design. We warmly invite you to join us for other deep dives in the future as we continue to explore the tools and research shaping your world. Until next time, take care.